So this is a Sterling Eccles Lux, just going to take you around the van and show you how it operates. Front of the van you've got a jockey wheel, hitch and handbrake. We'll demonstrate these to you in person here on site. In the front locker you have your gas bottle with your gas valve on top. Open is gas on and closed is gas off. You can carry a maximum of 2 6kg propane gas bottles inside the van at any point. If you wanted to, you could have 2 gas valves connected, gas pipe works connected at the same time, and this dial here in the centre actually has an arrow on it, so you can turn it round so you can run the opposite bottle should you wish to. But as part of the Super Starter Pack, it comes with 1 gas pipe and 1 gas bottle. In the front locker you'll see a grey pipe work for the wastewater that comes out the side of the caravan. Coming down the side of the caravan you've got your water pump connection, blue trigger to release the pump, and the same to push it in. So you pull back the blue trigger to release it and push it in place. Pickup pipe drops down inside the ack roll, and that needs to be full of water prior to turning the water pump on. If it's not, you'll draw air up into the water system on board the caravan. You then got your heating and hot water flue. You remove the cover by pulling the flap at the bottom and then removing the cover from the side of the van. Essentially that's the flue, the same as you have on the side of your house. But like I said, it does need to be fully removed prior to running anything on gas inside the van. You then got your battery and mains power coming to the side of the caravan. So the mains power comes in from the power on site to the side of the caravan, and then you've got your 2 connections on top of the battery. So you've got your positive and negative connection on top, which allows you to connect the power from the van to the battery, or the power from the battery to the caravan. You've then got your 2 fridge vents on the side of the caravan. 2 fridge vents are very simply there to allow the hot air out the back of the fridge unit and to take some cool air in. Behind one of them there's also a gas flue when the fridge is running on gas. Down the bottom you've got your 2 grey waste pipes, so that's what the 2 bits of pipe go in the front locker. They go into the holes on the side of the van here, and they drop down inside your waste master. You've then got your toilet flush tank at the side of the van, so you open this up and you need to have to put 3.5 litres of water in here and a cap full of the pink fluid to allow the toilet system to flush. Then at the bottom here we have our toilet waste cassette, so you pull up the orange handle and pull the cassette towards you. The orange neck here turns out 90 degrees so you can tip the waste away. The grey cap is a measure for your pink and your blue fluid, and you'll need to put 1 litre of water in here and a cap full of the blue fluid prior to use. On the back of the cassette you've got an orange pressure relief button, so when you're tipping the waste away it doesn't spit and splatter back at you. Coming to the back of the caravan you've got your 2 wind down legs to stabilise the van, and they're only there for stabilising the van, not lifting the van. And coming towards the front of the caravan you've got your 3-pin socket so you can have power out to your awning, storage locker for underneath the front seating area, and a barbecue gas point on your last wind down leg. Going on to the inside of the caravan now, and above the door coming into the caravan you'll see you've got your main control panel, so you've got your power button to turn the power on. You've got 2 indicators here. One indicates you've got mains power coming from the power post, and then you have mains power coming into the caravan. Just going to turn the water pump off for a minute. You've got leisure battery voltage just here, which indicates how much power is in the battery on board the van. And if you're towing the caravan down the road, you'll be able to turn this on and see how much power the car is putting to the caravan, because what will happen is when you connect it to the car, if you have the right connections, it will charge the battery on board the caravan, and you'll actually be able to use the fridge as a cool box whilst you're travelling down the road. So with the power on above the door, first thing you need to do is fill the water system up. So you're going to open all the taps up on the hot side of the water system, then come underneath the seat on the front right hand side of the caravan. Then underneath this seat on the front right hand side, just down in this front locker, you'll actually see there's a yellow valve, so it's just towards the front of the caravan there. You can just about see it in the video there, that yellow valve. Unfortunately it's in a dark area of the caravan so you can't fully see it. But that yellow valve needs to be flat with the floor as it is at the moment to fill the water system up. If it's upright and pointing towards the bottom of the seat, it will drain all of the water out of the system onto the floor underneath the van. We do advise after each use of the caravan you drain down the water system fully. If you don't drain down the water system, you'll actually end up with stagnant water inside of the system. So once that yellow valve is flat with the floor, as I said, you can then come to the control panel above the door and turn on the water pump. Once the water pump is turned on, you will have water running out of every tap continuously on board the caravan once the system is full. At that point then, you can shut all of the taps back off, and then you can start thinking about warming the water on board the caravan. So you have 2 ways of warming the water on board the van. you have your electric water heating, which is on this switch control panel, on this switch just down to the right hand side front of the caravan. If you want the water to warm up on a medium temperature, which is around 35 to 40 degrees, you'll have that switch in the, we'll push that switch in at the top. When it's in the central position, it's off. Then we put it down to the bottom position, the water will warm up to around 50 to 60 degrees of water temperature. So we'll leave that turned on for now, so when you come into the caravan, you'll feel that it is starting to warm up. The other option you've got is the gas water heating. So on the controls up at the top here, you'll see you've got another dial. This is just by the front window. If you want to warm the water up to 50 degrees on gas, if it ignites on gas, you'll have a green light appear on one side, and if it fails to ignite on gas, you'll have a red light appear on the opposite side. You also then got the same option for 70 degrees of water temperature. Again, green light and red light will appear. Green light appears, it is indicating it has ignited on gas. The red light indicates a fail to ignite on gas. Should you say, if you haven't got the heating and hot water turned on the front of the fuse box down here, or the space heater and water heater switch, neither your heating or hot water will work on electric if these are turned off. You also need to make sure the main power switch is pushed in for all of the power on board the caravan to come on. If it's out, then it means the power will be off. You then have your 12 volt fuses, which are indicated just below that. I'll tell you what each of those fuses is for. Then on the right hand side, you have a list of what each of the 230 volt switches are for. And again, you have your breaker switches for this on the right hand side here. If you hit the test switch, it turns the power off. If you have power coming to the caravan and you hit the test switch, that switch will drop down. If you hit the test switch and it stays in the upright position, it means there is no mains power coming into the caravan. To operate your heating on board the caravan, you have two different ways of doing it. You have your electric heating, so you have the option of 500, 1000 or 2000 watts that you can run your heating on. You spin the outer grey dial, so this little tab is pointing towards one of these numbers depending on what caravan site you're on. You would have to ask the caravan site when you arrive on your holiday what they recommend you set it to. Then you control the temperature of the heater on the dial in the centre here between 1 and 9. Obviously the higher the number, the hotter the heater will be. You then have the option to run the heater on gas also. Dial on the left hand side here, you spin it round between 10 and 9. Hold down the gas valve, and if it ignites on gas, you'll have a pilot light in this window down the front of the heater, like you can see just there, that blue glow you see. Then once it's ignited, after 5 to 10 seconds, you'll slowly release the gas valve, and then you'll be able to control the temperature of the heater on the dial on top here. To isolate the gas supply, you turn it back to the off position. This caravan has blown air heating, a bit like you have in your car for instance. So you've got the fans that blow the air around the van. The dot in the centre here indicates the heat is just going to come out the front of the heater. You've got the wave symbol, which indicates continuous blown air. Then you have your fan speed on top here. You then have automatic blown air on the right hand side. So essentially, the thermostat on board the caravan will control when the blown air heating comes on. Like I said, when you're back in the centre, it'll just put the heat out the front of the heater. Then you've got your fan speed on top for the blown air heating. Fridge is very simple to use. Power on and power off on the button on the bottom here. Turn the power on by hitting the button. The plug symbol here indicates the fridge is running on mains. Then on the right hand side, you can control the temperature of the fridge by hitting the button on the right hand side. And if you want to change the power source, you can hit the button on the left hand side. So you've got 12 volt mode. Now that is not the 12 volt mode from the caravan itself. That is the 12 volt from the car you are towing with. And it will only work if you have the right connection on your car, the same as the battery charging as you're towing down the road. What it'll do is, if the connection's correct on the back of your car and the wiring's correct, then this light will go solid blue, and it will, like I said, operate the fridge as a cool box whilst you're travelling down the road. Press the button again, you go to gas. If it fails to ignite on gas, this light here will be flashing, and it'll also come up with a 9 and a spanner symbol in this control panel. But if it's ignited, the blue light will be solid here, and you'll have nothing on this top right hand side. And again, on gas, you can control the fridge temperature on the button on the right hand side. Microwave, hob, grill and oven all work very much like your household appliances. You just need to remember, if you're off grid, you'll have no 240 mains power to the microwave, and also the electric ring on the back of the hob itself. Last thing on board the caravan we're going to go through is the toilet system. You have an electric flush on top of the toilet here, which you need to fill from the outside, as we've discussed. Red light here will illuminate red when the toilet waste cassette is completely full. The toilet seat itself you'll turn for your convenience to the position you want it to be in. However, when you're removing the toilet waste cassette from the side of the van to empty the waste, you'll need to have it back in the central position here. Then below the toilet you have your grey waste handle, which you need to have in the open position to allow the waste into the toilet waste cassette, then in the closed position when you want to remove that toilet waste cassette. So that is a Sterling Eccles Lux 442. If you have any further questions on the caravan, please don't hesitate to give us a call and we'll be more than happy to help. We appreciate your business and we look forward to seeing you here on site soon. Thanks again. Bye bye.